Hello family and YouTubers. We're going to do a video today on kale wraps for everybody that's looking to get healthy this year and or wanting to get away from meat some. These are really awesome and my taste testers, including the kids, all really like them, so I'm going to share this with you today. I like to chop up my kale. I don't like to just leave big hunks of anything. It makes it a lot easier. You know, nothing's worse than having people over and eating and they're having big hunks of anything, spinach or anything hanging out of their mouth. So this is the best way. It makes it a lot easier to chew up, and especially when you're feeding the kids too, it's a lot easier to digest. A lot of people don't take the time to chew well, so make it small enough, and it's a lot easier to roll into the wraps too when you don't have big hunks. So I like to make it kind of fine like that. Now I'm going to use quite a bit because surprisingly once you start rolling, it's not as much as you think it is. This is the first thing going in. You gotta have our kale. And we're gonna do, this is gonna be pretty much an all vegetable wrap. I'm gonna pull out the other vegetables here in just a minute. And we are gonna have a little bit of fruit too, because it's really nice to have some, a little bit of sweetness in there. And I think in the beginning we showed you we have the kale, we got some carrots, we have some sweet yellow onions, we have some apples, got some celery, some raisins. We're going to use a little bit of honey, and that's optional. And we have some tahini and a little bit of pink Himalayan salt, and to give it a little zing, a little bit of cayenne pepper. Now we're ready for we're going to add our carrots, and I like, again, everything pretty fine. So I'm grating these carrots on the fine setting. That way, again, when I'm feeding them to the babies, I don't really have to worry about them getting big chunks of carrots lodged or anything, and they can get through this pretty quickly, and it just tastes better for us too. There's a lot more flavor as you get a little bit more of the carrot juice in there. We're not, again, trying to chew up all these hunks. Alright, now we're going to get my onion chopped up. And again with the onion, I like that done real fine because I'm mixing onions with some fruit here, some apples and some raisins. And what I don't want is big, gigantic hunks of onion in there. I just want it really finely diced. I just want to give it flavor, like, you know, you taste this flavor and you're not quite sure where it's coming from, but you don't want big gigantic hunks of onion. It's like, oh my goodness, all that onion. Just want to give it some flavor. Now we're ready for we're going to add our carrots, and I like, again, everything pretty fine. So I'm grating these carrots on the fine setting. That way, again, when I'm feeding them to the babies, I don't really have to worry about them getting big chunks of carrots lodged or anything, and they can get through this pretty quickly, and it just tastes better for us too. And that was one large carrot. Now we're going to get some celery in there. And again, I like everything fine. Again, I'm doing the celery on the fine grating setting. And a lot of strings are going to come out. I'm just going to discard those afterwards. All the good stuff is going to be on the inside. But I'm going to get some celery. This gives us a lot more vegetables and it's really, really good. Again, we're not biting down into any hunks of anything here. I'm gonna use this whole stalk, get rid of these strings. Get some vegetables into the kids. Look at that. It's really, really, really fine. Very fine and juicy. So this is not going to be a dry wrap at all, even though it's not going to be cooked. It's a great vegan or vegetarian thing. Okay, so we got our kale, carrots, onions, and celery. Now the last thing we're going to put in, we're going to put our fruit in. And all right, now I'm going to grate up some apple. And I'm turning to a little bit larger setting on the apple because the apple's delicious. And kids eat it in hunks just like this. It doesn't have to be so fine. It's still going to be small enough that they're not going to be chunks that you have to worry about them getting caught on again. And you'll be able to see here in just a minute how this apple is looking on this side. It's great. These little pieces, I'll just dice them up with my knife and they'll end up being about the same size as these other pieces here. We'll move this so you can see the size of these apples, that we don't have any, still no huge chunks here either. So, see how fine that is? It almost looks like hash brown, potatoes, shreds kind of. And we're going to dice up the rest of this, these little pieces that I pulled away from. And this was one apple. One kind of smallish apple. It wasn't a large apple at all, but it's enough to give this again some great flavor. So we'll put that apple in there. Now we're gonna add the love. Here's where the love comes in. So we're gonna put, I got about a half cup of raisins here, a little more than half a cup of raisins. A little bit of pink Himalayan salt. I got some ground red pepper. You need that to give it some zing. Ground red pepper, a little bit of salt. Some tahini. You gotta have the tahini. And this is probably about 2.5 tablespoons of tahini right here. And if I need to add a little bit more, I will. Because again, I don't want it to be dry, but all these good vegetables that we had, the way we grated them is gonna help because they're juicy. And so we got a little bit of honey right here, about 1.5 tablespoons of honey too. Honey is good if you get good honey. Gives you some good vitamins in it. Now, best thing to do, is I washed my hands before all this really, really well, is go in with your hands and get this thing together. This is where the magic comes in. You want to go ahead and mix all this together really, really well. So the kale is getting bruised, and that's good. Just kind of break this down a little bit further and get all the flavors mixed in through here. It smells really good, surprisingly. And it's not even cooked, but all these things mixed together smell great. And I promise you, I think most kids are gonna like it. I'm not gonna lie and say every kid will. You got some. If they've been raised on a diet where they just get sweets all the time, this is, even though this is sweet, or they could have an issue with texture. I'm just gonna check it now and see if I need to add anything else. Probably not. Let me see. I think we're good. We found some great tortilla shells, the best I've ever had. They're uncooked. So we're gonna cook those right now ourselves. This one kind of tore, but that's all right. We're gonna use it. And I'm using my griddle here so that I can do more than one at a time. Well, I wish I could fit 3 on there, but that's all right. So we're gonna get these grilled. I'll put a little bit of our mix in here. Now, I like to be generous with them. I like for them to be really filling. I'm not the best rapper in the world, so be patient with me here. Fruit, you can dig in there and get a little bit more cranberries and apple. Put in there. These are ready to eat. Thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, a list of the ingredients is going to be listed down below. And if you have any questions, leave those. We'll try to get